Beatrice Perkins, a mid-level accountant with a penchant for chamomile tea and a deep-seated boredom, stared at the tiny slip of paper nestled inside her fortune cookie. "A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush," it declared. Beatrice, usually a creature of habit and routine, decided on a whim to follow the cryptic advice of fortune cookies for the next 7 days. It was a desperate attempt to inject some spontaneity into her predictable existence. Day 1 began with a chaotic flurry. The fortune read embraced the unexpected. This led her to ditch her meticulously planned lunch of a tuna salad sandwich and instead impulsively join a street performer's juggling act. She wasn't very good, stumbling over a brightly colored ball and nearly taking out a small child. The experience, though mortifying, was certainly unexpected. Day 2's fortune suggested seek knowledge from unexpected sources. Beatrice, intrigued, spent the afternoon attending a lecture on astrophysics by a renowned professor. She understood very little, but the sheer spectacle of it all, the complex equations scrawled on the whiteboard, broadened her horizons in a way her spreadsheets never could. Day 3's fortune was short and sweet. Dance in the rain. An unexpected downpour occurred in the middle of her commute. Ignoring the judgmental stares of passing commuters, Beatrice embraced the rain, twirling and laughing under the grey skies. She felt utterly liberated. Day 4's message was more perplexing. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Beatrice, interpreting this literally, decided to walk to work instead of taking the bus. The walk was surprisingly pleasant, allowing her to observe the city from a different perspective. She even discovered a hidden park filled with vibrant wildflowers. The 5th day's cryptic message was, "Silence speaks volumes." Beatrice interpreted this as a day of complete solitude. She spent the entire day in quiet contemplation, meditating in her apartment and reflecting on her life. The silence was deafening at first, but eventually a peaceful calm settled over her. Day 6 brought a more active instruction, take a chance on love. Beatrice, who had been single for a considerable amount of time, felt a pang of nervousness. She mustered her courage and spoke to the charming barista at her local coffee shop. They talked for hours, discovering a shared love for vintage movies and obscure jazz musicians. The final day's fortune read, "The best things in life are free." Beatrice decided to spend her day appreciating the simple joys, a walk in the park, reading a book under a tree, watching the sunset paint the sky with vibrant colors. It was a day filled with simple pleasures and quiet contentment. Reflecting on her week of following fortune cookie advice, Beatrice felt changed. The experience had been a roller coaster of unexpected events, humbling failures, and exhilarating successes. It wasn't always easy, often bordering on chaotic, but it had pulled her out of her rut and reignited a sense of wonder in her life. She hadn't found ultimate happiness, not yet, but she discovered a newfound appreciation for spontaneity, a courage she didn't know she possessed, and a willingness to step outside her comfort zone. The week hadn't solved all her problems, certainly not, but it had given her the tools to approach them with a renewed sense of optimism and adventure. She realized that even seemingly insignificant things, like a little slip of paper in a cookie, can significantly change the course of one's life. The journey had been far more rewarding than her initial expectations. It was a lesson in letting go of control and embracing the unpredictable dance of life, one fortune cookie at a time. The following week, Beatrice continued to add a little bit of fortune cookie advice into her daily routine, a small reminder to remain open to the possibilities life offers. Would it always work out perfectly? Probably not. But it made life a lot more interesting, that much was certain. The simple act of following the fortune cookie was a tiny rebellion, a tiny adventure in a world that often felt too predictable.